let's take a tour of me through the rest of the house. That's why. So unfortunately, some things kind of like came up, and stove, the refrigerator, the cabinets, everything. This is why I have not vlogged. We actually had some people to come out to do the floor, and they came, we scheduled them, they came, and guess what? They get here, ready to work, say, oh, we can't do it because of asbestos. And I'm like, what? Like, we already had this figured out. There's no asbestos. So they would not do it. So we basically had to tear up the floor, do marks mostly, tear up the floor. What else did he do? Tear up the floor, we basically had to lay down some tile, grout, all this stuff. All this stuff we know how to do in theory, but we had never done like in practical. All right, so this is the project of the day. I've already primed it. It is dry. Here are the cabinets. I did the drawers, but I just laid this out. I'm about to lay this out, spread these out. They've already been cleaned. They've been sanded. They've been just like everything. They like ready. Man, sanding these were actually a lot harder than I thought because the stain had been there for so long, so it was really thick and embedded into the wood. So it took me a while, but I was able to get it off because I wanted to make sure there was no type of stain on there so that the paint and the primer could stick to the wood. Also, another little fun fact, I usually do the painting, the priming, the caulking, and the detail, and Dumars usually do the bigger, heavier stuff, but we a team. We got this. So now that I have the doors off, I'm now painting the inside. I've already primed it, and I'm putting on my first coat of white paint. Y'all see how big that refrigerator is? We actually had to get another refrigerator because it just sat out in the middle of the kitchen for so long. We actually eventually moved it to the living room where it sat for a couple of months because that refrigerator just would not fit the kitchen. All right, so today is moving day, and what I mean by moving day is we have to move all of this stuff, all of it out. Have to clean out the cabinets because we're gonna rip up the cabinets. Not today, but I gotta clean all this out. So we cleaned out those cabinets the other day, and gotta empty out the refrigerator because we are about to just basically tear this whole kitchen up. And hopefully by the end of the week, I will have everything out of the kitchen. And then as you see, this is our work table, y'all. It's so bad. Like this is like our workstation. This is like home base. And then the last nail. Thumbs up.
Yeah, your conversation.
So this is what we do when we're trying to fix squeaky floors. We had to replace the floor, and we're going to, I'm actually about to prime the floor. I can show you guys what it is. Use my hair as it was kind of wrapped. Here we go. We're gonna use Kilt's Restoration Interior Primer. Okay, so we had to remove the tile and install a subfloor so that the floor will be even. So we laid the subfloor, and now we are priming the floor so that the adhesives and everything will stick to the floor. A little history, this building was built in 1925, so yeah, everything is kind of like starting from scratch. We actually had only planned to do the floor and paint the walls. As you can kind of see, the walls are painted a little gray, but that didn't happen. So apparently when you are laying down Vitam, you're supposed to lay them out in quadrants. So the strongest part of your floor is the center of the room, distributing the strength. So that is what we did. We also, as you see, we're putting spacers because we wanted to grout in between so it could look like a more realistic tiled floor. We wanted to give our kitchen a similar theme to our bathroom, which is marble with this gray and white theme, and we did not really want to put marble in the kitchen floor, especially as this is going to be our rental property. We didn't want to put too much into it and then not really get much back. So neither one of us had ever grouted anything a day in our life. Actually, we had our contractor who was at the house working on something else upstairs, and he came by and was like, hey, when you grout, do it in small sections so you can clean up after yourself. So we're very thankful for that little tip. But it turned out to be a success. So now will be the perfect time to interject that my brother actually flew in to help us with this kitchen, and he was awesome sauce. Also, y'all, I went to the store about 15 times for some gray paint. This paint kept looking purple, it kept looking blue. It was the worst. Oh my gosh. This gray is turning out blue. See, but on camera it looks gray. Alright. On camera it looks gray.
It looks kind of bluish a little bit.
Okay, cool. Another fail.
Hey man, we failed to win. You see how many times we did good?
Well, I mean, we would have had it the second time, but Costas wanted us to redo it.
Yeah, you gotta do it the right way.
Alright, first let's do it.
Hit it.
Oh, come on. Push that in.
So I'm at Lowe's. I may or may not have messed up the paint. Comes out looking blue. This looks a bluish instead of a grayish. I don't know. I'm gonna get it fixed though. Thankfully, Lowe's is working with me.
Never in because this countertop, right, has to slide in between there.
Too bad that door is right there, cause that would have been like a cool bar. Like you pull up a chair to it at the end.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. So let's talk about this whole situation. This was one of the hardest parts of this project because we used so many different items to cut this. As you see, the big saw in the back, this little hand cutter that he's using, we used like a hand saw. We used everything that we possibly could to get like a perfect cut and to make sure we weren't stripping any of the, fibers of the wood, and then also make sure that we didn't get a splinter. Whew. This was a whole day and a half or 2-day project because butcher block is expensive and we weren't trying to mess up so that we could buy a whole nother butcher block to try again. Nah, sis, that wasn't happening. Ta-da! And it's done! Like I said before, because this building is so old, every time we try to replace some type of fixture, some type of light switch, or plug outlet, we always run into an issue because of the wiring in this building. The wiring is so old, y'all. I found cords, I guess the original telephone cords. Y'all, it was so crazy. We're taking our son out to breakfast. Hey, son. You're supposed to say I love my favorite parents.
I put all that on.
Alright, so you got all that on, right?
Yeah.
Got that on. Now that,
What cover is that?
before you put back on this knob,
Yeah. What cover is that though?
that cover is that silver piece. It's a big round silver piece.
And it comes up a little bit?
Yeah.
Alright, then I have that right.
They put
I've seen that on the floor though.
I put that on already.
Then once you got that together, that's pretty much it.
I already put those on.
Look at you excelling in life. You don't get no grade for this though.
Did you
I haven't done the wires yet.
Let me add right here that Dumars is such an excellent teacher, and Paris is probably going to be an engineer one day, but I guess that's up to him.
We can get as good as me, you don't need that.
Okay, you cocky for somebody who can't get it in right now. You got too much.
Yeah, I still have too much.
I want to take a pause right here and admire this beautifully stained butcher block countertop. It is so beautiful. Dumars and I, we took about 3 or 4 trips to Lowe's trying to figure out the perfect stain for this butcher block, and this was like the best decision. I didn't get a chance to record it because he was doing it outside while I was working on some stuff inside. So all I have is the finished product, but y'all, this is beautiful. Let's pause here. Even though you see Paris using this machine, y'all, this is called a wet saw. This allows for you to cut through tile, marble, anything or whatnot, and the spraying of the water allows for it not to overheat and burn. I got this for Dumars for Christmas, and he's been cutting stuff ever since. This was December, guys. It is now currently April, and he is still currently cutting stuff. So you know what? I got my money's worth. Shoot, if he need another one, he has utilized this so much. He's beyond gotten his money's worth, y'all. I'm just happy that it worked out, and it came just in time because we're doing the backsplash, and the backsplash calls for certain types of cuts. And also, as you see, they're playing with the marble because they both were very excited about it.
That's dope.
You gotta make sure.
That's dope. I ain't gonna lie, that's dope.
I turned it on when it was up, and it just said, I was like, whoa.
All right, now. So here's another tip for those who do backsplashes and whatnot. I was actually getting my car serviced and met this guy, and I was telling him what I was doing, and there's this clear film adhesive that you stick on the back of the wall, whatever you're doing, and you stick the towel up onto the film. Guys, it's so amazing. All you then have to do is grout. It's so amazing. But we did try it with our marble floors, and it didn't work. I think the marble is just too thick and too heavy. But with regular tile and backsplashes, y'all, this was amazing. It held up. I did not record a video showing how we cut the butcher block because we had gotten to the point where it was very tedious and we did not want to make any mistakes. So I was like, all hands on deck, put the camera down, let's do this. But what we did was we converted the counter area and made that to a bar. As you see, we had the 2 chairs that we purchased from Lowe's or Home Depot. I don't even know anymore because we shop there so often. And we placed that in there to have, you know, some conversation. People come over and you're cooking, you can sit and you can talk while someone is cooking, just, you know, for fellowship. But we finished up the kitchen. We purchased a new refrigerator. We placed it in the pantry because we had to redo the pantry. The pantry actually had a door. We took the door off and we put a trash can in there. Eventually, we're probably going to just go ahead and add some shelves in there. But right now, there's enough space for food. We also wanted to add a little bit more counter space. So we added 2 small cabinets on each side of the stove. And we used the extra that we had from the butcher blocks that we cut from the sink. We used that as the countertops, which worked out so perfectly, y'all. It was like amazing. But guys, thank you for watching this video. This is our first episode of Man vs. House concerning house matters. Please know that another video is coming up soon. So do not forget to subscribe and share this video. This is your girl, Miss Marie TV.
Hold it right here. I just want to make sure that's low. So just hold it.
The countertop.
Make sure they cover.
Freeze, don't tilt down. Like a seesaw. We had to use some Loctite for some of the tile that were kind of lifting because it's so cold. It did not stick, but
Well, this is why I wanted it. I'm a geek, man. Don't. He's like, yeah, dog. That's just smooth, man. That's smooth. That's how you
cut marble.
Yeah, let's cut everything. That's why I wanted it.
Try with wood.
No.
Yeah, it got a little better.
You probably could change out
The blade.
the blade
And then empty out the water.
and get the water and put it with wood. That's smart too. He's so cool. He gonna be the same way when you get 30, man. He was like, hey, you more, man. Hey, man, I got this little property. Alright, I'm gonna bring my old ass on.
Like your dad.
Alright.
This is what you gotta do. See you in 3 days.